Hi, welcome,
Hey.
welcome.
Thank you.
Le bond is real.
It's real.
I'm your host ici. I'm with my brother man,
Yes, sir, le co-host.
the co-host.
Et aujourd'hui, c'est un peu différent. On a une ambiance un peu différente. Il
Yes.
fait ensoleillé dehors. D'habitude, c'est un peu plus la nuit. Darker,
Yeah.
mid chiller. But we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for this.
On a un peu de fraîcheur.
Ah oui.
Le soleil.
Le soleil. And we have a wonderful, wonderful guest. Je vais la laisser se présenter.
What's up? I'm Yancy. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't really know how to present myself when people say
Nah.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I always give like the person
the liberty.
the liberty, because you say as much as you want or as little as you want. You can just be your
That's
name
dope.
and we leave it at that. And then the conversation, people get to...
Conversation flow. Or it's
Yeah.
like some people are like, yeah, I'm blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
keep
the
This,
resume
that,
part.
that, do.
Yeah, the
sometimes
resume
it get long, but like,
yeah, but listen,
Yeah.
if you need to, start
sure,
a
for
flexes.
We're all for flexing, though. We're all for flexing. So if you have shit you want to flex about,
Hi, I'm Yancy. I host a podcast called Thatsexciting, and I love
Okay.
talking about sex for a living. I also do video editing.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes, tell them, talk
Your
your
shit.
shit, talk your
There we go.
shit. That's,
Take two.
that's it. That's what we're talking about. See, you got this. You got this. So we're just gonna get right into it. There's a
Yes.
question I've been meaning to ask you
I'm curious to hear it.
depuis, and I was like, what is the thing that you've learned from all the different episodes you've done that has surprised you the most?
OK. La chose qui m'a surpris le plus is, I don't know if it's as exciting as you imagine it to be, but it's how little I know. I know nothing. Every episode, I'm like confronted. Confronted, c'est un mot assez intense, mais c'est, I know nothing. C'est, I'm exposed to so much knowledge and experiences, and I'm like, cool. We hear a lot of monolithic views around sexuality. And it's supposed to happen this way, and you're supposed to do it like this. Puis de plus de conversations que j'ai, je suis comme, actually, non. C'est vraiment comme, people are experts of their own sex lives. Je pense que c'est ça la chose que j'ai le plus réalisé. C'est, I don't know jack shit. Fait que c'est ça qui me fascine parce que j'apprends à chaque fois, and I'm discovering things that I was like, oh, this is really conflicting with my views that I currently have. Let's talk about it. Let's open the dialogue. Let's have a conversation about it.
Is that why you started a podcast?
So yes, it means to. C'était une façon de me lancer dans un changement de carrière qui me fait vraiment peur. Like, I've been doing some freelance work in video editing and like videography for a while, like almost 6 years.
Nice.
And I was like, I'm not. I have friends that have careers and they're like, oh mon Dieu, je veux vraiment faire ça dans la vie. Wow. And I was like, I do freelance. Cool. J'avais pas ce.
passion, genre.
C'est ça exactement,
Yeah.
cette passion-là. And like during pandemic, I came across like a sexologist work, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, I always talk about sex with my friend. Like, even with people I don't know, first thing we talk about oftentimes lands on like talking about sex. She's like, I mean, might as well monetize this shit.
That's
it. That's it.
Yes, sir. Fait que, so it was a way to just throw myself in this new arena, in this whole change, but still using, my knowledge and like video editing and producing. Mais c'était vraiment comme, lance-toi, ça fait peur. But just, it's scary, but fuck it. Like, do it anyways. Et puis, you never know until you do it. And if I fail, at least I tried.
Yeah.
That's it.
Il n'y aura pas le regret de faire comme, what if
The what if, yeah.
C'est ça.
Je pense que c'est le pire avoir le what if. Try, and then if you be like, yeah, I tried. Il y a beaucoup de personnes who don't try, so you're like, I feel good about myself, at least I tried, I did that step.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
That's it. No, vraiment, that's nice. Because I think oftentimes I get into conversations around sex and there's like this big like shame around it.
There's a lot of shame and stigma,
And,
yes.
and especially with my culture where I'm from, as Burundians, as Africans, especially like the female body, there's a lot of even like just doing this episode, I was like, oh, what are people gonna think? How like, what are they gonna be like? Ooh, shame, like what you doing? Yeah. What you're doing is no good, and you're like inciting this and that in the youth. I was going really far.
Yeah.
And then I brought it back and I was like, well, if we want to have a good sexual education, the first thing is really like to talk about it.
Yes.
What are your takes on like the shame and stigma around justement sex?
I think it's something that is like taught in society in very pervasive ways, and that individuals also like take on these stigmas and shame narrative. So there's a lot of work to undo that, because if you just think about what you learn in school, and I've had like a lot of conversations, j'ai eu énormément de conversations avec du monde aux States sur leur éducation sexuelle, and this is horrifying. Like the
How
things.
bad is it?
Oh gosh, the teacher being like, okay, on va demander à une personne de venir devant la classe, take a piece of tape and then stick it to one person. Là, c'est comme, okay, cool, tu vois, ça stick, parfait. Là, ils stick à une autre personne. Une autre personne, they do like a couple people and they say, you see, this is exactly why women's virginity is like supposed to be sacred, because if it doesn't, c'est des comparaisons.
What?
Yes, c'est comme des comparaisons. T'es juste comme.
Where did
The
that
more-
come from? Yeah.
A piece of gum as well. They're like, see, I'm chewing a piece of gum. Would you like it? La personne est comme, okay, I'll take it, whatever. Puis là, il y a une autre personne, do you want it? See, exactly. Women are like chewed pieces of gum. Like, you don't want a woman that had a lot of experiences.
Oh boy.
See?
Yeah.
So and women are shamed a lot of times for just being sexual beings.
Yep.
Like everybody is.
Yep.
Right? So d'avoir des conversations comme ça, faire comme, what the, like this is bad. Ici, c'est un peu différent. C'est plus, from my experiences, it's been more like, oh, let's not talk about like, on va parler de ton anatomie, mais on va pas parler de comme des parties de plaisir. So we're gonna
Ah,
talk.
ouais, juste le skip, c'est ça.
We're just gonna skip.
Ouais.
Like you're gonna bleed
Mais, ouais.
every month.
Ouais.
And that's
Voilà.
that. And you make babies and also can catch STDs and STIs.
Yup.
Tu sais? Puis là, après ça, now you're in your 20s, people are horny. people are going to have like sexual partners as much or as little as they want and not know anything about pleasure. The only pleasure education they had was porn-based.
Yep.
It's just creating this... ça aide pas. It doesn't help people to have like pleasurable experiences. It doesn't help people to know their bodies. It doesn't help people to advocate for what they want. Just creates a cycle of like taboos and shame.
Yep.
Because we don't talk about it.
Yep.
À quel point tu trouves ça négatif que la première place que tu t'éduques au niveau sexuel is porn?
It depends. It is very problematic when people fall in like sites that are really dark and that's the first like encounter that you have. But I think nowadays there's more ethically produced porn. So they have like statement missions where like they explain like, hey, this is a performance. We talk about testings behind the scenes and all that stuff. Parce que sinon, quand t'as pas ces informations-là, you always see people having sex with no condoms. And oftentimes it's like violent stuff towards women or like just like c'est problématique dans ces zones-là. I think there's like a positive and a negative. I don't know which one weighs more weight, but there's definitely like both sides are.
Fait qu'il y a une façon saine d'en écouter et d'en
Well,
consommer.
il y a une façon saine de consommer de la pornographie. And like we think about porn as being this video material, but there's also audio porn. Aussi, c'est genre des histoires avec, tu sais. So that can also be produced ethically, right? People on OnlyFans as well, like consumer to consumer content, I think. That's good. OnlyFans and all that stuff.
Genre de la personne qui le produit directement au consumer.
Yeah.
Exactement, merci. So yeah, there's a way to consume porn ethically, but there needs to be, il y a besoin d'avoir de l'éducation par rapport aussi at like porn literacy as well, because people see that online, they think it's real life, and then ils appliquent ça dans leur vie tous les jours. Where does it stem from? We don't talk about sex. So the thing that people like, oh my God, don't talk about it. Da, da, da. You seek it, then you see it, and you don't know that's not how shit happens, right? So yeah. That would be my take on it. Yeah.
It's funny you're talking about sexual education. It got me thinking about my own sexual education in Burundi. And it was at the time where it was like there was the AIDS crisis and
Sorry about that.
Ouais, non, moi j'ai adoré les réflexes.
Vite fait, bien fait.
Vite fait, bien fait. Et like directement, on se replace comme si de rien n'était. Professional.
Comme quand tu tombes dans la route, comme,
Ouais,
nobody saw me.
we're good. Donc yes, donc my education, sexual education was very much like centered around STIs and mainly AIDS. Really, like there weren't. I learned about herpes here when I got here in like at 14. That's when I was like, oh, there are other things other than AIDS. Because in my head, I was like, if you have sex,
It's AIDS.
it's AIDS.
Right.
If you have sex, it's baby or baby and AIDS. And it's like, then I was like, oh shit, like those can't be my only options. And then it gets you into this like fear of being like sexually intimate with somebody, and you're like, wait, why do I feel this way when other than like in this space I'm comfortable with you, I'm like I vibe with you, yes, we're all both horny, whatever, whatnot, or doing our thing, little kissly, but then when it comes down to it, there's like this like freeze situation where you're like, oh, but the AIDS though,
Right.
and so I don't know. What I saw you shaking your head, but I just thought of like bringing that up. What do you think of basically like people being scared when they're, or different like sexual traumas, I would say, like how to move around it?
This is a very interesting question. I don't think I'm the most well-placed person, as I'm like also gathering information right now, like trauma-informed. I know that I can refer someone, c'est en anglais par exemple, but it's Janamika, so it's the drama queen. And she talks about, specifically like talking about like sexual assault as well.
Yeah.
But
I follow her.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah.
So it's work around destigmatizing. There's also Dr. Ina Park that talks about destigmatizing AIDS, HIV, and STDs and STIs. But I think it's sad. I think it's sad because it really ostracizes and make people that, you know, have AIDS, have STDs, have STIs feel like they're bad and that they're not worthy of pleasure, of having a partner. So I think this is really sad. Luckily, there is more like information available now and more conversations that are being had. So that's great. But we do still have a lot of work to do in that regard. Yeah.
What do you think we could do to help destigmatizing the
conversations? Honestly, just like conversations that y'all are having now. Je pense qu'aussi avec la démocratisation de tous les médias numériques.
Oui!
But I think like people are having these conversations in their circle, which is what we need. C'est vraiment ça qu'on a besoin, because there's like people that follow sexologists. That's cool. But like somebody from your circle that reposts that, you're like, oh, interesting. J'étais pas exposé à ce genre d'informations-là. And then we like talk about it more and more. So opening conversations and having conversations in your circle is really important. Ouais. And also, je suis pas très au courant de comment c'est maintenant le système d'éducation sexuelle au Québec, mais d'en parler dans les cours.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, parce que c'est, as you were saying, like it's either you get pregnant and have HIV, and either you got AIDS or you either got AIDS and are pregnant. C'est quand même la similaire à ce que j'ai eu comme éducation sexuelle au Québec là.
Yeah, moi j'ai rien eu là. Moi j'ai juste eu on a un bout de bois, tu apprends à mettre un condom dessus.
Et ils ont passé un bout de bois à tout le monde?
Non, c'est un volontaire. Puis
Okay.
c'est le seul qui apprenait, I guess. Non, je te jure, c'est vraiment ça. Il y avait un bouffon qui était comme, c'est moi, c'est live. Là, il mettait, and then il y a juste 29 personnes dans la classe qui étaient comme, intéressant, ok.
But what about people that don't have sex with people with penises?
Mais c'est ça.
Hey, good luck.
See? Mais c'est ça aussi, because like you can also catch STDs and
That's
STIs
not sex.
if you...
It's
not intercourse, it's not sex, so you're not worthy of having that information. I don't get it, right? And you can also catch STDs, STIs, HIV, AIDS from like vagina with vagina sex, but you don't know about that. So people that are not interested with like penis and vagina sex, they're like, oh, it's not my problem. Puis après, so la désinformation is ça fait tellement de dommages dans la manière. C'est pas des dommages. It's more so like, if we just had these conversations and destigmatize it and people have the informations, je pense que ça aurait une grande différence.
Ouais.
Yeah.
Puis aussi, je pense, it helps because people are already doing it and people will do it.
Yo, people are like, don't have sex.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it.
So would you rather somebody doing it in a certain way? Like what would you rather, basically?
What would you rather? Would you rather talk about it, which is uncomfortable? Or would you rather leave people? Just
Le moment d'inconfort, I feel like you're going to live it either way.
You got to choose your heart. It comes down to choose your heart. Yeah. For instance, it's hard to have that conversation, but it's even harder sometimes to like, say par exemple, si je pense à have the conversation about being tested with your partner, it's uncomfortable, but it's something that, you know, you need to have. Mais c'est tellement pas quelque chose qui est comme discuté. It's so not something. It's like, this is something that should be normal. And you should, you know, if you want to have sex with this person, you should also talk about like, hey, I got tested and all that stuff. Yeah. But like, it's really comes down to like, choose your heart. It's exemple, les parents qui sont comme, oh no, I don't want to talk to sex to my kid. Yeah. Your kid's going to do it anyways.
Exactly.
Regardless.
Yep.
It's hard to talk about it with your kid. It's also harder not to talk about it. C'est aussi difficile vivre dans le déni. You know, anyways, I get it.
No, I get it. Because après ça, tu dans le déni, il y a plein de choses aussi qui peuvent arriver that could be even more detrimental to the person, to the child.
Yes, merci. Absolument.
Donc,
absolument.
C'est comme toi en tant que parent, you're trying to protect your child, you're trying to educate your child to the best of your ability. Why not offer them this toolbox?
Exactement.
You know?
It's not fostering an environment where I can come up to you and I have a question or something really difficult to tell you and say, hey, this happened. Like, can we talk about it? Or, hey, I have a question about this. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, it can be really uncomfortable. And I absolutely understand that. Mais it would be great if people could have like these conversations or at least foster an environment. If it's not you that you feel comfortable with, like foster an environment where your kid could have that conversation as well. Yeah.
Seriously. That's for real.
Yeah.
Because it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous and so, no, it's dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous is the good word, honestly. Yeah. Parce qu'on dirait qu'ils préfèrent nous laisser dans l'ignorance.
C'est ça.
Nous laisser baigner dans l'ignorance and be like, you figure it out, apprendre tes erreurs, instead of like, faire une prévention, genre.
Yeah.
And just help.
And sometimes you learn from your peers, and your peers are not the best environment for you.
Yeah.
No.
So the mistake that you did can be really detrimental. So, yeah. J'ai eu une conversation. I had like an episode on men's sex education. I was really curious to know like what the talk was. And somebody answered, I'm kind of mad at my parents for not telling me anything because it kind of let me running loose ignorantly. Yeah. And I like knowing the environment that I had, I could have done some bad mistakes. And that's, you know, we need to talk about that too.
And I feel like oftentimes men are all put in this like same box of like, okay, you're a man. This is how you should express your sexuality. This is how you should express your sexual desires, your sexual needs. And if you deviate any tad bit from that, you ain't a man no more.
Shane Boudram has an amazing... You listen to it? Yo, why straight men are boring in bed. Yeah. It is an amazing episode. And it's like the sexual script. It's like, dans le fond, a sexual script is like... just, okay, so we're going to kiss, and then we're going to, like, foreplay, and then it's going to be, like, penetration, and we're done, right? So the sexual script for men is so tight and so, like, narrowed that if you derive, comme tu dis, a little bit, if you want to have, like, a finger up your butt, if you want to explore that area, oh, no, you're gay. You're not really straight. This is not, right? Yeah. It's limiting. And, like, everybody contributes to that. Men, women. Like... Everybody in between. Everybody in between. All genders can contribute to that, and it's pervasive.
It is.
Yeah. It really is.
Mais avant que tu le dises, j'avais pas réalisé que c'était autant tête à ce point-là.
Mais oui.
And the moment you said finger, but I was like, yeah, that is.
Mais c'est vrai.
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. And I was having this interview with someone, and the guy said, like, if I want, like, you know, my prostate stimulated with a dildo, ma première réaction, ça a été, I mean, that's a bit gay. It's not, though. But it's not. But that was my first thought.
You see, I had to
Back is
unlearn.
uncomfortable. I was like, that's gay. He's over there like, what? But no. Yeah.
But, okay, the interesting question is, okay, quand on parle de, if we talk about, like, sexual attraction and sexual orientation, right? If I say, I am, for instance, an example, I'm lesbian, but I've had sex with men, nobody's going to question the fact that I'm lesbian. If a man says, I mean, I'm straight, but I've kissed dudes or done things with dudes, but I'm straight, people are going to be like, are you really though?
But you're not though.
Exactement. So, c'est vraiment un intéressant, an interesting thing when it comes to like sexuality and like cis men specifically. Yeah.
I think I realized that the more I grew and the more I would have conversations with my peers, people around me, especially men around me, even my brothers, and I'll be like, yeah, but that's you don't really have much space to explore, much freedom to really try things and figure yourself out, figure what you like.
Or else you're in a group chat.
Exactly.
You're in a group chat.
Sus.
But it's like it's sad. Everybody deserves pleasure. Everybody deserves to express themselves in the way that they want without like people questioning their identity. And if you're straight and you have things with dudes, you say you're straight. You like cis women. Great, good for you. And you're straight, cool. You're straight. See, but the group chat thing, fuck them. Yeah.
It's real.
It is. It is.
Talking about pleasure.
Yes.
I always like when we're talking about men's sexuality. Je sais pas pourquoi, genre, je vais parler de ça, but hey.
Let's talk about, yeah.
And the fact that their G-spot is in the butt.
Yeah, I heard that. We're trying to go with this.
You see, is it possible that most men, and this is a theory that I have, haven't explored their peak joy or peak pleasure moment if they haven't explored things in the butt?
Why did you have to
In the butt.
I like to say it like that. You see,
butt.
this is me. I can't talk about this topic and be too serious either.
That's a fair question. My rebuttal to that would be not every woman likes to be stimulated vaginally or clitorally. So to that extent, I think not necessarily every man or every people with like penises would like that prostate stimulated. So it can be true, but it cannot be true as well.
I
personally think that if, like, let's say we had more space to like découvrir without getting tagged as, I think more guys would do it.
Yeah.
I think so. Si on a plus de chances de pas directement qu'on le fait, on se traiter de you gay, you not straight. Or,
Right.
I think some dude would be more comfortable to try it out. Yeah.
I'm also curious with like, you may have the space to experience it, but it's also the person disclosing that to other people. And that's like not necessarily consensual, parce que la personne va aller dans ton dos faire comme, by the way, man, like he liked that. And that's what would, if a man would do that to a woman that likes to be choked, like quelque chose que, you know, that you're a fucking asshole. But when it's women, in that regard, the accountability is less there. And I think like, c'est quelque chose à laquelle on doit, you know, hold each other accountable and reflect on it.
Yeah.
Because it scars people in the process that you want to have sex with and you want them to explore, yet it's also shame. So that's why I was saying, like, it's really pervasive. And accountability goes a long way.
Yeah.
Too. For everybody.
For everybody.
Everybody.
Because there's a lot of shaming and perpétuer le toxic masculinity and the patriarchy que parfois ce sont des femmes that contribute to. Puis des fois, je trouve que, holding each other accountable, c'est vraiment la chose qui aide le plus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, you know, c'est tellement ancré. You grow up thinking that's the way to think, to be, to treat others. So it's cool to be able to have someone to say, hey, actually, let's just talk about this for a little bit. I don't think that's right. You're like, okay. And these moments can be hard because the ego can be triggered.
For sure.
But it's like, okay, I'm triggered, but like, let me hear you out. I'll have my fit. If I go, de quoi tu parles? C'est n'importe quoi. But then take the moment and be like,
come back.
Exactement. Okay, no, je pense there's truth to what you're saying, and like, let me evaluate my behavior. And I think that's healthy, like questioning yourself and just like having people that hold you accountable as well. Everybody's gonna do mistakes. Everybody's gonna say some fucked up shit. Yeah. Everybody's gonna like not always be, you know, like pas PC, mais tu sais, tout le monde va faire des erreurs, right?
Sure, yeah.
So you need people that are like, yo, that mistake, let's just talk about it. And then that's what we need. Accountability is really important.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Just shifting gear a little bit.
Yeah.
Talking about pleasure for women. What are the top, I don't know, advice that you could give to women?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'd say ask, like, okay, premièrement, la chose que je dirais, c'est de follow des gens sur Instagram, YouTube that talks about pleasure. So you learn. The first thing is learning, and then asking yourself some questions. What do I actually like? It can be really difficult to advocate that with partners, especially if you had like bad experiences in the past. But having that space to explore that with yourself, et aussi d'avoir les outils que tu peux collecter à gauche, à droite des personnes que tu suis, some tips and tricks. That would be like what I would say to start. And then you build on, like, you know, the more you get to know yourself, the more you can like narrow down what you're actually seeking information on. And then you can like really build on that and advocate more and more for what you want, your desires, et tout ça.
J'adore. C'est un tout petit peu ce que j'avais fait au tout début, genre a while ago quand j'étais arrivée ici, puis I was in SEGISII, I think. I just started taking a bunch of like sexual classes.
Yes, that's
a
dope.
whole bunch.
That's dope.
In SEGISII, in university, I was taking a bunch of classes. There was one class in particular that really opened up my eyes. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know shit.
C'était quoi?
And everything I learned is just... En fait, il y a deux classes. Il y a un, c'était in SEGISII, Human Sexual Behaviors.
OK.
Puis après, c'était pornography through history.
Interesting.
Listen.
Yes.
Those classes blew my mind. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to share this knowledge with everybody.
Hey, you down the street talking about porn. Like, you know what I
Did you know?
I remember you were so excited. My little ass was at home. Moi, je suis le petit frère. But like, nah, you too young. Maybe a couple years. Wait up. And you're so excited. Like, yeah, literally.
I'd be curious to know, though, do y'all talk about sex and like your sex lives?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
I think it was in part the way we didn't grow up together, like childhood. I came into his life when he was 9 and I was 14. And so him and our mom, they were so tight. Yeah. So close. Yeah. And talking. I should talk about that. Yeah,
basically.
Why am I speaking for you?
So before she arrived, me and my mother were really we still are. We're really close. But she was really good at not being uncomfortable to talk about like sexual subjects or how I should live my life being a black man or so she wasn't really uncomfortable talking about those things. On a commencé à parler de ça genre quand j'avais 9, 10, 11 ans.
C'est quoi les premières conversations que vous avez eues?
La première conversation qu'on a eue, c'était comme genre, elle me demandait, tu connais l'histoire de la cigogne qui amène le bébé? She was like, well, that's bullshit. First of all, that's some bullshit. And I was 9, and I was like, okay. Yeah, so she's like, first of all, that's bullshit. But in a couple of years, we'll talk more deep, like, how, genre, comment ça se passe plus en profondeur. Okay. Elle a vraiment essayé de comme casser les misconceptions, I guess, dès le début. Puis, ouais, c'est ça. So, comme, moi, j'ai vraiment été exposed to more, I guess, quicker, earlier. So, j'ai vraiment été comme, yeah, I was chilling. Puis c'est pour ça que, comme, quand toi, you pulled up, it was a bit, like, different.
Il y a eu un clash?
Ouais.
Au début, c'était weird. It was like, because I was way too comfortable and she wasn't.
Ah,
So
yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I get that. No.
Video. Haram.
No, literally. Puis c'est comme tout récemment, comme il y a quelques années, que comme on est revenu à un niveau where it's like healthy. And I grew up too, and I became an adult as well, so that helps.
Also.
Obviously, mais ouais. I think ouais, c'est ça.
Moi, mon sexual education, c'était ma première conversation and only conversation with sex. Actually, non, j'en ai eu deux. One was, you're gonna bleed out from your coochie. I was like, okay. Why? You'll see. Okay. How much? How is it? You'll see.
À quelle fréquence?
À quelle fréquence? For how long? I'm not
Am I
trying
gonna die? I'm gonna bleed.
How will like all the like little details of like logistics of it, like where exactly in my coochie, like how,
True.
You know, all that. And then my biological mother worked at a like organization that helped against HIV/AIDS. So my sexual education was like, basically she sat me down with my brother and she was like, she gave us pamphlets from work. It was like, I read this over. If you have questions, come and see me. But that's scary as fuck. Because then again,
it is
AIDS, baby, and AIDS. The three options. That's it. And so when I got there and here he is talking to his mom about, oh, there's this girl I like. And then next thing you know, she's buying him condoms. I'm like, what the fuck?
You're gonna
like, what is going on?
I remember that day you were shook.
I was shook. Yo, my eyes, I was like,
So my
you're
mom
encouraging this?
My mom comes, she's like, Jay, I heard you're sexually active now, so here, boom, throws the pack of condoms on.
Did she throw it actually?
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
you caught it. Okay.
I was like, all right, thank you. And I just see my sister in the hallway like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's up? And you were just like so amazed. You're like, what the fuck is this? C'est quoi, l'encourage comme yo, va faire tes bails, genre. She was so confused.
Interesting.
I was very confused.
Yeah.
I was very confused.
And did y'all have a conversation about that? Ou est-ce que c'est resté comme, yellow, interesting?
Oh, yeah, no, we talked about it.
I feel
Ok,
like we
vous en avez
did.
parlé.
Yeah, we
Genre
talked
à table,
about it.
à un moment
At table,
donné,
because
yeah, for
every
sure.
night we'll have dinner together and we'll talk at the
Okay.
dinner table and like.
Yeah, and my mom is good to spot the eyes.
The
and be like-
uncomfortableness.
yeah,
Tu
and
manges
be
comme
like-
ça, mais comme, what's up? What's
Yeah, she'd be like,
Nothing.
Stacey, I saw your eyes yesterday. Why were you uncomfortable? And she'd be like, ah, shit.
on the spot.
Yeah,
on the
literally.
spot.
Yeah.
And then also je pense her being a nurse, il y a certains trucs comme, you know, it's like it's natural, it's biology, it's you know, so there's a lot of it, a bit that makes it, I guess, comfortable, but also her personality, and her upbringing, her upbringing and her wanting us to have a different sexual experience than the one that she did. And it was the first time for her having a grown daughter. Like, she was just like, you know, daughter that's like 14, 15, and I'm having like parties, and she's like, okay, so are you sexually active? I'm like, don't talk about sex. We don't talk about that.
We kiss, but you know,
Yes,
that's that.
little bisou. That's it.
No tongue, not even tongue. No, not even.
No, shame. No. So slowly but surely. Even I remember one of the first conversations around my sexual health came from, I used to have really, really bad cramps when I'll be on my period, like horrible. And I'll actually be a bitch. Like, I'll be an asshole. And one time I was being an asshole to him, and he's just like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl?
I didn't get it.
He jokes a lot, and he would tease me a lot. And like, those jokes normally make me laugh.
Yeah, normally they flap. Like, I'm not having this one.
Being the little 10-year-old, 11-year-old, I'm like, what's up? I'm just trying to be funny. This is my comedy show. It's for free. It's free as well. Like, come on.
What you doing? Yeah,
But with
no.
time, I understood it. And you're the one who made me understand, like, entièrement. Like, sérieusement, parce que, tu sais, les gars, on parle, puis on sait pas vraiment qu'est-ce qu'on dit. Ah, t'es dans ta semaine. You know, we tease that a lot. And it's like, we don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. Mais la journée, ma soeur m'a snap dessus. I was like, okay.
Le changement d'hormone is real.
Yeah, I get it now. I get it. Fair enough.
And then my mom was like, girl, come here. Let's talk. You see, what's going on? I'm like, I'm on my period, and this boy is pissing me off. He's like, but you know he's just being himself, right? Yeah, but it's pissing me off, and it's just like up in my space, and just like, yeah, but he does that.
That's his thing.
That's his thing.
It consistent.
So here are these little pills. They're gonna help you with the pain.
Did it help with the cramps?
It did.
Okay.
Big time. And then I went on the pill for a bit, and then I stopped. And since I've gotten off, now my periods are regular.
I'm so curious to know, because j'ai pas d'informations sur la pilule pour l'homme, but I'm curious to know if men will have those mood swings. I am so curious.
They're in the process.
I know.
Ils ont développé
Yo.
récemment.
On en parle dans les groupes chat, nous aussi.
Yeah?
On en parle dans nos
What do
groupes
y'all
chat.
say?
Damn, I shouldn't have said that. No, no, I think like we're just like, what is this? On est juste stressé, puis on est comme genre, ça va être quoi? Est-ce qu'on fait des tests? I don't know. We're just like stressing out. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I like. Puis aussi, il y avait cette question-là, genre, est-ce qu'on va vivre exactement les mêmes choses? Like, what's gonna like?
Débalancement d'hormones.
Yeah, we're just asking
Shut up, I hate you!
Fuck you!
C'est ça, puis est-ce qu'on va nous aussi avoir le droit de le blâmer? Like, pas le blâmer, mais comme dire que c'est ça qui comme change nos affaires, mais comme, anyways. We're just asking questions we have no idea, genre.
And, okay, this highlighted a question that I have now, because women PMS, like, usually like, une fois une semaine par mois, then you're on your period. Est-ce que ça va être à chaque jour?
So that's, yeah, so I don't know. I'm stressed now.
Because usually you got the sugar tablets, right? Avec
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a good ass question.
Yo.
365 a year?
I know.
Yo, déjà comme deux semaines par mois là, de comme PMSing and then like having your
too
period
much.
c'est déjà beau. Tu sais, t'as
That's
juste,
too much.
I believe y'all.
yo, you got a little time to be relaxed and be chill and be like, on va bien. And then like mood swings, crying. Yo, c'est vraiment ça.
Then, yeah, t'es en ovulation, puis t'es comme, mais là, pourquoi tu me fais ça? Je suis même pas, y a pas encore.
Yo, yo, c'est vraiment ça. C'est vraiment ça. It's either you're mad, you're horny, or you're crying.
Yo!
Like, it ain't fun.
And it can all be like back to back in the same day.
You, on the span of like an hour.
Oh shit, an hour.
Sometimes. This shit go crazy. It's up and down.
Yo, c'est des montagnes russes,
Yeah,
man.
I really envy people that are like, nah, I'm chill. This is just
comme ça. La vie va bien, y a rien qui se passe.
Are they actors or do you actually believe that they're chilling?
No,
They're
they be
chilling.
You can't act on that shit.
Okay,
No.
that was so real. I was like, yo, my bad.
No, you can't.
You can't act that shit.
I
now.
mean, if you're an actor, il y a un niveau de comme d'aimer avoir mal, I guess, because c'est même pas agréable. T'es juste comme
Et c'est des douleurs inconfortables that you don't get any other time.
Okay,
Other than when
do you
I
get
guess
like
pregnant.
the butt pinch?
Yes.
Yo, okay, just imagine, okay? T'es au travail, and then des fois, genre, ton utérus fait comme ha! Oh my god. And then your butt is like, it's so weird. It's so, oui, bonjour, oui, on va. It's like, yeah. It's out
like,
of the blue.
Yeah.
It's like your body reminding you, I'm in charge, bitch. I'm in charge.
Exactement. Vraiment, c'est vraiment ça.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yo,
it's
c'est
tough.
fucked up.
I have some friends that can't go to work because
Yeah.
like their period cramps are so intense.
Ça, c'était moi avant. Ça, c'était moi avant.
It's
Oh, I'll
bad.
be dying. Même là, c'est genre, il y avait des jours, je suis comme, mais are we going backwards in time? Like, what's going on? Puis là, des fois, je dois dire à mon patron, je suis comme, it's women's stories. Là, heureusement, I have a chill boss and everything.
That's good.
So je suis comme, yeah, no, it's women problems. It's like, okay, no problem.
There's problems, man. It ain't no joke.
Non, c'est vraiment, it's not a joke.
I get it now.
I'm having flashbacks now. Parce que les jours s'en viennent.
Counting the days on the calendar, man.
I'm counting down the days. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Ouh, petite pause sponsor parce que je dois refill mon glace. Shout out à Rosemont.
Oh, on a même des petits cups aujourd'hui.
Vous avez vu?
En
Upgrade.
rose.
Let me upgrade.
Je connais pas le beat, mais je vibe quand même.
Upgrade. Upgrade.
You fucked it up.
I did.
Remix
I'm not
sans prévenir.
I'm not a singer, okay? I do other artistic shit.
What do you do?
Oh, shit. I shouldn't have said that.
Oops.
Huh?
What do you do?
I draw. I haven't drawn in a while. Sometimes I paint. I haven't painted in a while either. And obviously I do the pod. Created this thing.
And you're also a plant lover.
And I'm a plant lover, yes. Every episode, y'all have noticed we have a different baby. Let me not touch her too much because she's...
Yeah, she's going to be like...
she's going to be like, no, don't give me attention. She's shy. She's shy and sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes. What's been your favorite episode so far that you've recorded?
My favorite episode so far that I've recorded, definitely the ones with my family. So, I had one with my cousin in New York where we talk about, her coming out story, especially with, our Haitian family and their taboos and how her coming out went. And also an episode, The Sex Ed with Men. I did it with Preach and my cousin. That shit was so funny. Because I learned that my great aunt. So my cousins were in the room, right? Three of my cousins together. And I say cousin loosely because, la famille, c'est grand, là. So if they're little cousins. Everybody cousins.
On se comprend.
On se comprend, c'est ça. So.
Same.
Yeah. Same.
So, cousin chilling in the room, right? Three cousins together. My great aunt bursts in the room. He's like, elle est en train de pose son chandail. Elle fait, you see this? This pigeon? It gets in the vagina and causes trouble. It's like, what the fuck? They were chilling watching cartoons. It's like a... Actually, that's not how it happens. Mais ils ont commencé, ils ont eu une conversation, puis elle a apporté avec humour. But had I not had that conversation, j'aurais jamais su, tu sais. And aside from that, when do you ever get to have conversations with your family about sex? See, I talk to my parents about sex. We're really open. My brother as well, my aunt as well. But c'est la famille qui est pas ici that we see once every blue moon. C'est quand qu'on fait comme, so how's your sex life? What was your sex life?
Yeah, je comprends.
C'est ça, j'étais comme, I love knowing more about my family, but also understanding how people are taught about sex and c'est vraiment, yeah. That would be my two favorite episodes. That was hilarious. Also, Preach, il est tellement drôle.
Yeah.
J'étais pas capable de pas rire. J'étais comme, I was cracking up the whole time. J'étais comme, I have to be serious. Ma prochaine question, mais juste comme, yeah, continue. Genre, c'est fucking drôle.
But they're hilarious.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, il est vraiment drôle. J'aimerais bien le rencontrer une fois. Je l'avais vu une fois de loin, puis j'étais comme, oh, that's Preach.
La fangirl, t'es parti, genre?
J'ai même pas, il était trop loin pour que je puisse fangirl over him. But I would have. Ain't got no shame in my game. I would have.
T'aurais dû jog. If you didn't have shame, tu jog.
Non. J'ai quand même un peu de respect quand même. Hein? J'ai quand même un peu de graciosité. Quand même.
Cours avec grâce.
Wow.
That's a good call.
Yo, what the fuck? Don't be sloppy with it. Be cute. Be like, hey, I'm coming. Be cute with it. There you go. Exactly.
Imagine, c'est même pas lui de comme, oh, OK.
Bye,
Taxi.
Ouais, c'est ça.
Taxi dans le métro. Ouais.
Yeah, for real.
Mais c'est ça, j'allais te demander si t'es si t'es enfant unique.
Non, j'ai un frère. I have a step brother, but he's my brother. Yeah.
Older or younger?
Older, so he's 30. I'm 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was same age.
Yeah.
And you said that you talked to him about sex and
We
stuff.
talk about sex. We talk about everything, but yeah, we do talk about sex sometimes. Like I talk to him about the podcast when I have questions, or I'm like, "Yo, has that ever happened?" And then we expand. Or sometimes we like see a meme and then we start talking about it.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, nah." What?
That's nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's really dope. What was I gonna say? How are we doing on time?
It's 2 or 3 here.
Okay.
All right, I can do 7 minutes more.
Alright.
Yeah.
Where do I take this next?
I had a question basically with your
Yes.
brother.
Yes.
When were you always comfortable talking about sex, or est-ce qu'il y a eu un moment déclencheur que vous étiez comme genre, je pense qu'on a un âge où est-ce qu'on devrait, or what was the story basically?
So as he's older, he moved out. So I was, on se parlait pas vraiment. Like we're not really texting, like exchanging, aside from when he was coming home. And I was a full-blown teenager, like, oh my God, fuck you. I was not like actively talking about that to my family. Je pense que when I hit like 24, I think that was when I was like openly talking about sex with like him, and yeah. Je pense que parce que sinon c'était plus il était à son appartement, on se parlait pas vraiment, il venait à la maison, j'étais comme fuck life. Il y avait pas de moment où est-ce qu'on pouvait comme échanger or like ask questions or talk about it. Mais je pense que like the more and more like I grew up, also he's now in Montreal, mais avant il est comme voyagé beaucoup, il a habité à Londres, il a habité au BC or Alberta. Anyways, like j'avais pas l'opportunité de faire comme guess what? Yeah.
Est-ce qu'il y a eu un moment d'inconfort la première fois que tu l'as initié, ou just
No, because he's fairly chill. Il est comme, ah ouais? Bet. Okay, cool. Tu sais, on en parle, puis il est comme, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think, like, in regards to my family, my dad is, tu sais, moi et ma mère, là, c'est vraiment un humour cru. And we're like, if you, les doubles sens, là, si tu dis une affaire, on va comme, ah ben, oh ouais, c'est mon père en arrière qui est comme, OK. Qui est inconfortable. Puis des fois, sometimes he busts a joke, puis on est comme, what the fuck? It came out of you.
Where did that just come from?
Vraiment, yeah. So, yeah, with my family in general, we're like really open to like talk and exchange about sex, and it's fun. Tu sais, c'est vraiment comme ma mère a comme un humour de dad jokes, and also tout le temps en double sens. Always. Yeah.
His mom has the dad jokes.
Oh my God. She's so happy. She's like, OK, attends, j'ai une joke. Là, t'es comme, hey, ça va être bon, let's go. T'es comme, c'est un gars. Là, t'es comme, oh my God. She's so happy and proud. I love that.
That's cute. That's cute.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
C'était quand nous qu'on a commencé à en parler? Just got me wondering.
Yeah, so
I think
there was a dinner, right? And then, est-ce que là, vous avez commencé à en parler plus?
not really. On a rendu ça un peu moins inconfortable, but we didn't start talking about it. I think it's when you picked me up.
Yeah.
After a booty call type thing?
It's not a booty call. Is
A girlfriend call? A
Yes,
partner
it
call?
was my girlfriend. It was the
Okay.
first time I had sex, basically.
Okay.
And for me, it was a fucking huge day in my life. So she came to pick me up, and I was laying in the street. J'étais en train de faire l'étoile dans la rue comme ça, genre.
Oh my God! Plan aérien sur toi,
Puis
tu
là,
dream.
il m'appelle, puis il est comme, conduis doucement, je suis par terre. Je suis comme, quoi?
Dans le milieu de la rue?
Yeah, I was just enjoying life. I was like, yes.
Was it everything you thought it would be?
Fuck no.
Oh, okay.
Fuck no. It was terrible from on my part.
Yeah.
But like, I was just still. C'est plus que j'étais content que comme.
Ça soit fait.
Ouais, et que toute la pression and everything.
Yeah.
La merde soit juste genre sortie. Because it was shit, but I was like, yo. Bro, j'ai fait de mon mieux,
but then
man.
again, est-ce que c'était au secondaire?
Ouais. I was
The pressure, people were like, sex.
crazy.
Did you have
It's
it? Did you not? Puis le nombre de personnes qui montent aussi.
Yo.
C'est comme, oh yes, I had like 25 partners. Genre,
Where?
bla, bla.
Where?
Quelle position vous avez fait? Ah ouais, qu'est-ce que. Puis t'es comme,
Puis là, il est comme, non, mais c'est ça. C'est genre,
Yeah. OK,
It was
fait que c'était
plus
comme
la-
un... OK, I did it, and...
Yeah, la pression était
Ok.
off, and I was like, wow. OK, là, je peux vivre. Puis comme.
I can
don't
move
know.
on.
Yeah, I can move on, not
Yeah.
be like fucking pressured by everyone and myself as well. So, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. C'est pour ça que j'étais couché dans la rue.
OK.
And then I pick him up.
Yeah.
Et là, je suis comme, wesh, what's going on? What do you do? Et il est comme, yo.
Mais là, tu dis ça après que j'ai dit que c'était shit en plus. Fait que là, moi, je suis comme, je suis dans du gars comme, yo.
Non, mais t'étais juste comme, yo, this was a crazy experience.
It
more.
was, though, it
It
was.
wasn't like, ah, yo, j'ai dit ça.
Nah,
Non, c'était pas
I
ce
didn't
yo
cap.
là.
I didn't cap.
No, you
I
did not.
cap.
You're like, t'étais very humble about it. You know, you came in very humble. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Basically, like, thank you, lady, for allowing me.
Basically, j'étais comme, merci de m'avoir donné cette expérience. J'apprécie. J'en serai toujours redevable.
Merci d'avoir retenu ma candidature.
Literally. C'était ça le vibe, honnêtement. C'était ça.
And I think after that, ça s'est fait naturellement.
Yeah.
Puis aussi, I was very strict with him au début, when he was younger, and as he got older, genre, je laissais loose de plus en plus. À un moment donné, I wouldn't even swear in front of him.
Okay.
I would swear more than you.
You would swear
When
more
I was
than
5 years younger than you.
you were. I
I'm
mean,
still-
you are.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I was like, nah. Even like, yo, this was used to piss him off. I would like put music with clean versions of music on his iPod. He would be so mad.
Tu vois comment ce manque de respect? Écoute, t'essaies d'écouter Lil Wayne, bye comme ça. Puis c'est la clean version, t'entends 3 mots sur 6.
Mais ça, yeah, that is true. C'est vrai que ça...
Je sais que ça faisait du bien. Deep down, t'étais comme, ah, fuck you, petit mec. Yeah, va chier, bro. Oh, I knew you. It's so annoying. Oh my god.
Ah,
Je peux même pas flex et dire, yo, Pané, écoute cette
écoute
chanson.
ça.
Non.
Ouais, non, tu peux pas. C'est
Clean
juste pour
version.
toi. Pour
Juste
à
pour
consommer. Juste pour toi.
Est-ce que c'est la clear version, the clean version where the words would be not existent?
Non. Même pas genre
Oh.
beep, c'est juste genre.
I know that song.
It was terrible, yeah.
Donc, éventuellement, I loosened up
Yeah.
more and more.
The boundary like got like elle
Exactly. And also as he
Evolved.
grew up too and stuff. So yeah. That's how it went.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So for people that are like rigid, the boundaries like really rigid talk like in regards to sex, would you have anything to tell them?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a fucking good question.
Rigid boundaries around sex. With their siblings or with their family members or just with people in general?
Let's go with family.
With family, I think the way I went about it was like society is not gonna be there for them. The school is not gonna be there for them. I know a little bit more. Why shouldn't I be there for them?
Oh wow.
And that's how I see it, and that's the energy and the intention with which I go with it. And it's the same with all my brothers. Like, even my older brother, I would used to just bother him and be like, so, because we would go to the same school. And at the time, he was a rapper, still is a rapper, but he was like popping in Burundi. He had a studio, one of the first studios there and everything. And so he had, fangirls. And I'll be like, so I saw homegirl giving you googly eyes. What's up with that? Or some girls trying to talk to me so that they can get close to him, being like, do you want me to walk you home? Do you want to eat something?
That's not
Honey, step up your game.
Listen.
You're not gonna get through my brother through me.
Nah.
Bruh.
I'll take the free shit though, but I still won't say nothing.
That's my sister, smart.
That's it. Donc ouais, puis lui, puis also my other brother qui est plus jeune, because it's like they only have me. I'm the only sister they got, and if they intend on dating women, which all of them seem to be right now, like it's the best insight. They get the best insight from me.
Yeah.
And it's part. I feel like I see it as part of my package deal of being their sister, and so it's coming from a place of love and a place where I want them to be the best versions of themselves to other people, like their partners, their friends. Even I'll give them advice on like friendships and what not, sometimes what to avoid when you see somebody who's like this. So you should, give it a second look type of thing. And so that's what I would say. I think the boundaries, if you keep the boundaries being rigid, you're also creating a gap between you and the person in a way, if they're too rigid. Because just like a tree, like if the wind blows and the tree is flexible, then it's gonna be able to move. But if the tree is too rigid, it's gonna break. And so
that was nice.
I got that from my therapist. I'm not gonna take the credit.
Au début, j'étais pas sûr. But
my
nice.
Therapist, Charlotte.
Nice.
Shout out to you.
Out.
But so that's where, when I look at even like parenting, when I look at like the family structure, sometimes in Africa and Burundi, it creates the gaps that I've seen being created in families, just because people are rigid and they don't want to be flexible on they don't want to be flexible on their boundaries, and it creates a gap. And then you're like, this defeats the purpose, which is being close with your family. It's family. Like, you're going against the purpose of family. So, yeah.
Oh,
That was nice.
amazing.
You're welcome.
Poetic. I love the tree analogy.
Yeah, I was stressing in the beginning, but that was beautiful. I was
Thank you.
The tree. Oh no, where are we going?
that was literally it. I was like,
The wind. Oh, okay, great.
Okay, makes sense. It's perfect.
Yo, when my therapist hit me with that one, I was like, woo, I'm taking this gem with me. I could have taken the credit, but I'm not that. I'll take credits for my own shit.
It's like the plant that doesn't have the sticks. If it doesn't, it
Nice.
Well done. I think
the people listening are like, "What are you talking about?"
Inside joke.
Close up.
Description.
Yeah. Je sais pas si t'aimerais dire un petit mot de la fin. I don't know, for the youth maybe.
Oh,
I like,
much pressure.
It is.
You're not weird for being a sexual being. T'es pas anormal, t'es pas étrange, t'es pas... People are gonna treat you the way they view sexuality, and they're gonna like project their own shit onto you. So you're not weird, you're not abnormal. T'es pas étrange, t'es pas anormal. C'est tout à fait normal d'être un être humain sexuel ou non sexuel. So, there's people on the A spectrum as well. So, on vit dans un monde où, en ce moment, on a accès à tellement d'informations. So, building your online community can tremendously do a difference to one's mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Tu peux parler à des gens qui ont une expérience similaire à toi, même si la personne est à 6000 km de distance. Still have someone to talk to, still have someone that can relate to, your experiences. De trouver ta communauté en personne si possible, sinon en ligne, ça aide beaucoup. And just know that you're not weird. Yeah. Yeah. And listen to That's Exciting. That's Exciting is a podcast, a weekly podcast about sex, where I have conversations around intimacy, relationships, and sexuality. Weekly, where we try to open conversation and break the societal monolith of all these topics.
Talk your shit.
Please go watch.
And this has been The Bond is Real. Shout out au sponsor Rosemont.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. On est là, tu nous as mis bien.
Voilà.
Shout out à UGN, les frères évidemment. On est ensemble. Unlike General Norms, check them out. Websites, everything. Montreal brands all around. pour un Montreal podcast.
Yeah. Shout out au soleil montréalais qui nous a mis la belle peau aujourd'hui.
Yes.
Je pensais que j'étais sûr que t'allais oublier, mais shout out au soleil.
Shout out au soleil.
Vraiment.
Shout out à Dieu.
I was wondering if you want to go
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm going to go there. Shout out to God for blessing us with the sun. Thank you. Thank you. This has been Born Israel. Mon nom est Stacy. Merci encore une fois.
I was Jalen, the co-host, and this was another beautiful episode.
On avait Yancy with us. And thank you.
Thank y'all.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
That was dope.
See y'all next time.